See, my thing is, you give me 10 rupees. I'll give you back at least 12 rupees. But don't say that you can only give me 8 rupees. Then we might end up losing all the 8 rupees.
Right.
Yeah. If I'm asking 10 rupees, you give me 10 rupees. Then I might ask you 12 rupees. You give me 12 rupees. Then I'll give you 14 rupees or 16 rupees back. It's like that. Filmmaking cannot be an individual's effort. We can lead the team, but a director cannot be a team. The things that we could say very easily 10 years ago is something that you could never even dream of telling today. Even in a personal conversation, we're becoming very intolerant group of people. Every government in the world knows this, the power of cinema. So that is why they are so worried about the content that their film industry produces. I don't give script, and they
You don't give a script?
How can I give when I don't write?
Good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome to THR Talks. So happy to see all of you here. Our guest tonight is, in my mind, one of India's finest filmmakers. I think his vision is shaping the contours of our cinema. Please put your hands together for Vetrimaaran. Vetri, so lovely to see you in Mumbai. Vetri, I want to start with a dialogue from your latest film, Viduthalai Part 2. There's a scene in which Perumal, the Vijay Sethupathi character, is walking in the forest, escorted by the cops who've captured him. And he says that I will tell you the events of my life as a story, and my story will tell you who I am, and your questions will tell you who you're going to be. And as I watched that, I thought that that's also true of your cinema, right? Because your movies tell us who you are, and our responses tell us who we are going to be. Would you agree?
Not exactly, but to an extent. I think I would.
Explain more.
We can't exactly be what we are in our films, but we can just be a little bit of what we are. And sometimes what we like and what we don't like as an audience doesn't really reflect who we are. I think it's a greater picture in terms of audiences liking a film. It's the percentile works. So I think that
It's complicated.
Yeah. The second part is quite complicated at least.
So when a film works or doesn't work, you don't see it as a sort of a reflection of, okay, these people are just not getting what I'm saying. How do you process that?
See, for me, I've been right from my first film, I've been very clear that I'm making film for the mainstream audiences. So when I'm making films for the mainstream audiences, the first step is to learn to make compromises, and to make compromises that doesn't really compromise what I want to tell, but I have to make compromises, starting with what my producers, investors, whoever want out of the film, which is profit. So starting from there, it's like they're going to say that, okay, we are going to spend so much. How are you going to ensure you give it back to us? Sometimes, I mean, most of the times, I'm not pressurized to tell what story I'm going to tell, but they want to know how I'm going to get back the money. So there, the process of compromise comes in. And when you're starting to make compromises, then there is your space to be a really an artist, uncompromising artist goes away, and what we see as a final film is just uh, is a is a is a process of negotiating between your want to tell a story and your need to make some money for the producer and to put the actors in a certain light, and all of these things come into play. So that's the uh, I think that's what I would say
But
about it.
Vetri, given that you're balancing all of this,
So okay, let me just
huh?
finish. Okay, so what happens is my aim is to make sure that I tell my story in such a way that they understand what I'm trying to say, and at the same time they appreciate the effort we all put in as a team to make that film, and that ensures the what to say, the minimum guarantee of getting back the money that was invested to make that film. So that way I think i'm i'm uh, I'm clear on what and how uh, to balance this out.
But when you're writing, are you very mindful of, okay, now I've said a lot? I mean, you're in the middle of another film, right? You're making a film with Simbu, set in the world of Vada Chennai, everybody. But not Vada Chennai too,
Yeah.
just to be clear,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
When you're writing this, are you mindful that, okay, now it's getting too preachy? Or do you have, or it
No. I,
flows?
I no. I really don't feel that when I'm writing, when I'm shooting, nothing. But when I'm editing, when I sit in the edit, I start feeling like after the first two lines, I feel okay, it's boring. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. So when I'm editing, I'm completely a different person. I'm very cynical. I'm very critical of the filmmaker who made that, and then the writer who wrote that. I'm very frustrated watching it. I'm very angry for allowing a director to shoot something like that.
Are you like, who the hell directed this?
Yeah, and bringing it like sending it to me into the edit with that. So while editing, I'm
You're ruthless.
very harsh on myself, and anybody who sits in my edit would really feel that someone else shot that film. So because I'm very abusive at the director and I'm very abusive at the cinematographer, actors, everybody feels like someone who's not part of the film, the process of filming is editing the film. That's how I keep my mind. And every time, sometimes it works as a scene and you enjoy the scene. When you see it as a whole, it's like falling. It's not working for me. Sometimes it feels too rushed. Sometimes it feels too long, and it feels very indulgent. And those are the times that, and I don't think that uh, anything that is said, unless it is being said for the sake of saying, I don't feel it's preachy or it's going a little overboard. When it is in the character to say those words in that sense, and even if it's a long uh, monologue kind of a thing, if it is in the character to say that, then I don't feel it's preachy or it's long or it's going overboard. If the character does not have it in him, then I feel we are going like we are crossing the line.
So if it's not organically flowing from the character, it becomes inauthentic automatically.
Yes. So, say for instance, if Kumaresan is to speak the lines of
Perumal.
Perumal, then that is indulgence.
Yeah.
That is going overboard. But Perumal, with all his education and his politics and his learnings and his vision for the future, he talking what he's talking is the most natural thing, I feel.
Yeah. You know, Vetri, you've talked in many interviews about your very distinctive filmmaking process, right? These two films were supposed to be, they were not two films to begin with.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
one small budget film to be made in 40 days. It
Yeah.
became two big films shot over 200 days.
256 days, I think. I'm not sure.
So,
Yeah.
and you said that your producer was extremely, gracious about it and sort of kept you
Yes.
going. So this process, right, where you go on a set or you go on location and you see an actor in a terrain, you start to see a story take shape. it's not on paper, it's taking shape as you're making it. And I know you've talked about this, but it still blows my mind, right? How this works. Because it's so exciting, it's so alive because you're creating in that moment, but it's also so precarious and there's so much money at stake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, are there moments where you hit a panic button or nothing comes, or you're just sitting there and saying, Ab main kya karu?
No, my problem is I have too many options, too many things coming in my mind, which my only problem is, okay, how am I going to shoot everything? That will be the problem.
So,
It's
you've
not,
never been at a lack.
no,
It's always too much.
no. See, if I feel that I'm not ready to go and let go of myself and do it, then I do my, like, my table, like, is busy. I start writing. So if I'm not really ready like that to go shoot, and if it's not flowing in my mind, then I sit, I write, and I discuss, then get it right, and then go, so that I'm able to, like start making the film the way I want to make it.
And once it's flowing in your mind, you go on set and let it flow more.
Yeah. Yeah. See, everything that we like write on paper is like, my whole team knows, okay, he's written something, let's not like stop with this. We'll be prepared for more to come. So that's how everybody works. See, I'm a director who's very concerned about the money invested, the time of everybody, and all of that is there. At the same time, the way my concern works is quite different. So that's the problem.
You express it differently.
Yeah. If see, my thing is, you give me 10 rupees, I'll give you back at least 12 rupees. But don't say that you can only give me 8 rupees. Then we might end up losing all the 8 rupees.
Right.
Yeah. So you give me 10 rupees. If I'm asking 10 rupees, you give me 10 rupees. Then I might ask you 12 rupees. You give me 12 rupees. Then I'll give you 14 rupees or 16 rupees back. It's like that.
And also, don't tell me how to spend the 10 rupees.
Yeah.
Hai na?
But see, actually, in all that, the round table also, I was talking about my producer. He's the one who made me do this. So
It's all his fault.
no, I wanted to have a small, simple climax for the first part, and then that opening shot, that was in my mind, and I told him long back. And I told him while we were doing it, no, now we've gone over budget, we can't do it. He said, no, sir, that's a brilliant idea. You have to do it. If not in this film, which film will you be able to do it? You have to do
The
it.
continuous shot.
Yes.
The train accident.
Yes, the train one. So we spent, like, I think I would have told you that. We shot, like, we rehearsed 13 days and we shot it, and it cost around like 8 to 9 crores to get that shot right. So he also gets excited with me. And throughout these two films, that's what was happening. And the next time, I had told him, please don't come to my edit. I'll show you the final film, because when he comes to the edit, I say something and he gets excited. He says something, and then the budget goes up and number of days also goes up.
He says, forget 10, take 100 rupees.
Yeah.
Tell me also, Vetri, about your use of location. Because you use it in such a specific way. I mean, the cliche is, of course, that the location becomes a character, but in your films, it really does. We have such a sense of where these people are, you know, what this forest is, or even in Vada Chennai, what that whole place is. How do you decide that this is my location? How do you decide this is how I'm going to shoot it?
See, for me, the terrain and the language that is spoken is very important, because every region has a specific way of speaking any given language, and that gives the people there a uniqueness. A certain kind of uniqueness comes to those people who live there in that terrain, speaking that kind of language, and also it has a lot to do with the geographical conditioning, the language they speak. You know, people close to the sea have a louder way of speaking, because they have to throw their voices, and people in a hill, or maybe close to a forest, they don't throw their voice as much. Of course, they also have to throw it, but not on a very regular basis. Like every conversation need not be so loud. So these are certain things that we all know. So for me, these things determine how I'm going to write my story. And I also keep it very fluid. My idea is very fluid to go and set it into the that character, the locale. So I have a story, and I'm thinking of setting it up in that particular place. So with the story, I go to the place, I see the place, I interact with the people there, and then slowly I realize the story I have in mind, in my hand, need not necessarily be from that land. It could be placed anywhere. You could put it in any place. Then what I start working around is, okay, I have this idea. Then let me find out ways to make it very specific for this particular place. So then I those people there, they give me inputs on what is special, unique, and what is missing in the idea that I have, and then I slowly incorporate.
So you customize your story to the
Yes,
terrain.
yes. For instance, Adakalam, the interval sequence that runs for like 29 minutes or so. Like we shot, my first edit was 7,200 feet, that one sequence. So it's a very long,
Yeah.
long one. So while shooting that, those people, like, who all were, everybody there were involved in rooster fights.
Yeah.
So we had a sequence, and while we were shooting, someone from there came and said, "Sir, we don't do it this way." Then how do you do it? We do it this way. Then I had to change it. Then if I change one thing here, then the whole, like, things after that changes. So slowly we started working around, and then we made those guys contribute, and then they ended up being the writers, and we were just executing what they were giving us. Like, okay, what would you do next? Okay, what would you do next? If something happens like this, how are you going to react? Then like, we can't handle it, we'll do this, we'll do, okay, you do that. Then if he does that, what will you do? And he was saying something, and then I made Dhanush do that. So like that's how we were working around. So like all the films, like be it Visaranai or Viduthalai, I had Tamil with me. My AD, who's also an actor, who's also a director. So he's a cop. He was a cop. So I call him and I tell him, okay, I want it to be like this, and I want you to make the actors do it. Then he will take it as his responsibility to make all the cops in the film to do a certain thing in a certain way, and then he'll get it ready, and he will come and tell me, this scene I'm supposed to say this line. Normally we don't say it like this, we say it differently. Then I tell him, okay, you say that. So I just if I know that this person in front of me is more aware and knows more about the given situation or the character that I want to portray, then I give it to them, and then I take it from them and make it mine. That's all.
So you're absolutely open to inputs, irrespective of where in the filmmaking you are.
Yes, yes. My what I do is, like, once I'm more or less ready with the film, more or less in the sense where you have like some 20 days or 25 days of shoot left, I just edit, and only then all my ADs get to see the film. Only then they get to know, okay, this is what we've been trying to do all along. Then all of them watch, they all sit, and then I ask them to give me feedback on it. They will have to write it, and they give it. And then we all discuss, having that, my core team, we discuss with all the inputs that they've given, and then we work on it. So that keeps happening. And there were instances where we had to make changes because someone came and told something even some 10-15 days before the release at the edit. So we keep things very open, and I also believe that filmmaking cannot be an individual's effort. uh, we can be the we can lead the team, but you know, a director cannot be a team. He can be the leader of a team, the
Yeah.
pack, but you need a lot of people to have a pack. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Your next film, Vetri, is Bad Girl, directed.
I'm the producer.
You're the producer,
Yeah,
directed by your
yeah,
ex-assistant, Varsha. And I was very curious because, this is a film about a woman coming of age. We follow her from when she's in school till when she's 33. Uh, your films are usually very much about men, Vetri. What got
yeah.
you interested in Bad Girl?
No, actually, I was the last one to be part of the film. It was originally supposed to be produced by Amazon. So they wanted a production house to be part of it because Varsha did not want me to be the producer just because of the reason you said. It's all about men. So you will not understand this. That's the thing. So then she came and said that Amazon wants a production house. Will you be okay to do it? I said okay. But then things didn't work out, and it was getting delayed, and their plans were changing. And then we said, okay, let's do it. Only after she asked me, I told, okay, let me listen to the script. 45 minutes of that when that school portion got over, I was listening to it with my friend Rahman, who's also in charge of Bad Girls production. And so we were like very excited that all along we have seen, we have discussed, and there's a lot written also about coming of age, about guys, like boys in their early teens to their late teens. Then nothing, at least here, has been done on how a girl handles that thing, how she comes to terms with her own self, her acceptance, or the pressures of wanting to do things and be accepted by everybody else. All those things, that was very exciting, and we thought that we should do it.
But this film, of course, it premiered at the Rotterdam Film Festival. It won the NetPack Award there. Also created a lot of conversation, right? There was a lot of noise when the teaser dropped. You came under attack. Uh, you also have another production, Manushi, which is in the process
Yeah.
of being censored. You're in the courts trying to get a censor certificate. Do you ever get tired?
Not yet.
Just
So
of
far,
this,
yeah,
right?
so
Because
far.
filmmaking
Mm,
itself is hard enough.
mm.
And you're then handling all of this external stuff because of what you want to say. Have you ever had a moment where you're just like, damn, I'm exhausted?
I have. I think all these things are only making us all excited to do more. Except
Acha,
for
it
the fact,
fires you, does
yeah,
it?
except for the fact that some crows are getting stuck there. So, and the interest for that is piling up. Manushi, we started in 2023, I think. So since then, it's been. Uh, we've had a lot of challenges with it, but I think it's going to get sorted. The censor committee rejected, then revising committee rejected, and then we went asking for reasons for the rejection. They gave 37 cuts, and then we went to the courts again. Now, very soon, we'll know what's going to happen.
But
So
it
that's the thing.
doesn't,
Mm.
it doesn't sort of dampen your enthusiasm to tell difficult stories.
No, what's happening is in today's world, everybody is scared of saying things, and the biggest danger we all face is self-censorship. We don't want to say certain things, not just because of the censors, but because everybody are hypersensitive, and the things that we could say very easily 10 years ago is something that you could never even dream of telling today. Even in a personal conversation, everybody are very touchy, and the we're becoming very intolerant group of people, and a lot of factors add to it. So in this scenario, when a story with originality is told, naturally these things tend to happen, and we need to deal with it. When it comes to bad girl, what I would like to say is, in in today's social media empowered world, you can just set a narrative. Like, a group of people can decide and set a narrative on how to understand something, and once the narrative is set, then everybody are going to buy into it. That's why I keep saying that, see, this film, when there was so much hue and cry around the teaser, and there's so much happening, we didn't want to say anything, because when the film is censored, and people are going to know, uh, because of the kind of external pressure that was there out, that film also was refused certification by the examining committee. But the revising committee sat and watched the film, and they gave UA 16 plus with just a few the regular cuss word mutes. That's all, nothing else. So when you are able to watch a film as a film, then it's different. But if you start watching a film, okay, who's directed the film? Why is it directed in this particular way? Why is that line spoken? And who's the producer of the film? What is his background, her background? What is the political ideology of this person? When all of these things are taken into consideration into a young, vibrant film, then that is a problem.
Because you're setting an agenda for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Bad Girl is watched as a film for what it stands and what it speaks, then if that offends you, the whole film, then there is a point of contention. We can talk. But just a teaser, just because it is produced by grassroots film company, then you have issues. Then that's a problem.
So, Vetri, when you say, okay, this is the story I'm going to tell, this is the film I'm going to make, it's just a given that somewhere down the line there'll be a fight?
No, I don't think so. Because so far, that's not been my case.
Right.
Even with Viduthalai 2, I didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
See,
it's the 2 film you've made with women leading it that have got you into trouble.
Yeah.
Anna?
Yeah. So, when someone from the censor board spoke to me on a personal level. So that person told me, see, your films, the films that you direct, has a balance. You have Perumal representing an ideology and a lifestyle. You have the chief secretary representing an ideology and upholding an office. So you are giving space for both these people. And as an audience, if I choose to align with the chief secretary, I have the option. If I choose to align with Perumal, then I have the option. So you are showing both good and bad on both sides. That is missing in most of the films that are coming today, which puts us in trouble, he said. So maybe because of that, I don't get into trouble, but the films that are backed by me get stuck sometimes. But now I am feeling maybe next time I might get into trouble.
For the next one?
Yeah, I don't know.
I love it. Okay, so tell us more about this next one, which is not Vada Chennai 2, but is set in the world.
Yeah, this is okay. To start talking about Vada Chennai, it's a very long story. It started in 2003 when I went looking for details about something a friend of mine told me. He lost his bike, and he was trying to find out what is happening, and then slowly he got to know the underworld of that. There was a big mafia, and he was telling me about that, and then I wanted to know about uh, a little more about that, so that I told him that I want to write a script on that, and he said yes, you can write. So I started meeting people and talking to them, and that friend, his name is Andrew. He's the one who took me here to meet a person, and then that person started saying, no, I don't know about that world, but I have lived a world which is so very different, which I've not seen in any films. I can talk about that to you. And he started talking about it, and then after like 2 3 meetings, he said, no, you'll forget if I tell you like this. I'll write it and give it to you. And then he gave me one small notebook. He'd written everything, and then he himself is a script writer. If he had not been there, and if his life had been different, maybe he would have been a very fine script writer. He used to, like, while telling, he'll say like, uh, that is when something very important happened, but I'll not tell you now, I'll tell you later. And then he'll start continuing the thing, and then after a point, I told you something that important happened, that is this. He'll say here, and he'll try to connect, and he's a very nice person. So that was supposed to that I started writing it, and then I knew that I can't make it as my first film, and then whatever I did not want, and whatever I took out and left out of that original script ended up being the world of Selvam in my first film. So then, when I wanted to make Vada Chennai, it was supposed to be with Simbu initially. Then it didn't happen. And then I did Visaranai, and then when Vada Chennai happened, Dhanush and I did again. When I was writing for Dhanush, it did not have most of what originally was in the film. We had to rewrite a lot. Now, going back to that same stuff that had been written long back, when it's going to be done Simbu, then I thought that I should bring that also into it, and so we have set it in the same timelines that happens at a different place, and most of the characters would weave into this story, and then they go out, and this story on its own is a film, but those characters come and add more drama into this. Of course, Dhanush's character is not going to be part of this film.
What a shame.
So,
So it's Vada Chennai adjacent.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
And when is Vada Chennai 2 going to happen?
That is supposed to happen as soon as I finish this film, but we don't know when that is going to happen.
Is some of it written? Any of it written?
I have an idea. I've been having this for a long time now. I mean, in the sense, immediately after Vada Chennai, we were supposed to do this only. Vada Chennai 2 only we were supposed to do. But the producer, Danu sir, did not want to have Vada Chennai 2. He wanted a new story. That because Vada Chennai IP is with Dhanush. Dhanush is the producer of Vada Chennai.
Yeah.
So he wanted his own IP. So, okay, then we ended up making Asuran. So
you didn't do too badly. Betty, has success changed the way you approach cinema?
I think my success as such is not that kind of, like some 200, 300, 400 crore success. So mine is, as I told you, give me 10 rupees, I'll give you back 12 rupees. So that's my thing. And it's given me confidence that you can tell any story, and all it takes is just a little bit of balance. You need to give something to take something, and when you are very committed, when you are sincere, I think that effort itself is more than enough for the mainstream audience to appreciate your work. I think that is very important.
But the one criticism you've consistently got is the violence, right? including the two Viduthalai films about especially custodial violence, sexual violence, the way women in both the movies are sort of, they're raped, they're tortured, they're stripped. I read this essay that talked about how you actually took away the dignity of these oppressed caste women. When you see stuff like that, what is your response?
No, when appropriation is said, I really don't have any defense on my side when someone says that. But I feel as a filmmaker, my responsibility is to not glorify violence and portraying something that has happened to make the audience understand what could have actually been the plight of the people there is a responsibility that as a filmmaker I take, I feel. And whatever that we saw in Viduthalai are taken from the statements of the victims of the STF who had given. It's a book. It's a published book. I just took some like not even the whole thing. We can't even discuss that whole thing. It's so shocking. You can't even imagine something like that could ever happen, and it's worse than anything that you can imagine.
Yeah.
And it's the statements were from 250 victims, and I just used like just a portion of a couple of people. That's all.
So, Vetri, in your head, when you're directing these scenes, when is the violence justified and when do you think it's gratuitous? Where do you find that line?
No, as long as I'm not glorifying it, I'm not indulging. Of course, indulgence has a line.
Yeah.
My indulgence need not be your indulgence. Like the tolerance level is different, and the perspective also differs. For me, I feel where I couldn't bear to like see every time when you're shooting, especially the first part and those scenes, it used to be like so pressurizing, so uncomfortable, so harrowing, and for all of us to get into that space, no, it's really scary to go into it, set the camera, and then okay, you have to do this, you have to do that. That's very
It's
bothersome.
unsettling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bothersome.
yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very bothersome. You can't do it, and then 2 days, 3 days, you can't do anything, and then you don't want to work. You just go into a shell. So these are when I feel that this is enough to make me understand what greater pain they would have gone through, how their dignity was taken away from them, and if I feel that okay, now I now this will convey and they will understand it, then I think I stop. Also, see, there are a lot of ways of telling it. You can tell it suggestively, and you can be even more effective by saying it suggestively. But this is how I make films, and maybe I might change as I grow older, but I want to, if it hits me hard, I also want to hit hard. If I am not able to read it through, and if I feel so bothered, so disturbed, then I also want to capture it that way.
Okay, I have two more questions and then I will open it up to the audience. The first is what is your preferred way of working with actors, especially stars? You've done extensive work with Dhanush, but now there's Simbu. How do you work with stars?
I'm very collaborative. I'm not going to tell them that how I want it to be. But while narrating, and see, all these actors, I mean, at least whomever I work, they're great actors. All I have to do is like while narrating the scene, I just have to like try to do whatever that could come onto my face. Not sure that
You show
I might
them?
not get it fully. No, while I'm telling the story, like
Right.
I'm
You're
explaining the
emoting.
sequence. Yeah. So and these guys, like, they'll pick it up very fast. All these actors whom I've worked with are great actors, and especially Dhanush, like, we have worked for a very long time. When I was in AD, he was, I think that was his third film or fourth film, Adur Kanakalam. So since then we have known each other, and he picks it up very fast. He picks it up very fast, and in the sense, what picking up in the sense, he will know that, okay, this director likes this. I'll make it my own and give it to him. He'll like it. So that kind of a thing. So, and also, all actors, be it Rajnikant or any great star, all actors look at the director and want to get a good from the director, however young the director is. So that's how they are conditioned. Like, they like, first they want their director to feel good about what they've delivered.
Yeah.
So I just give them the space to be themselves, and I clearly tell them how I have envisioned the scene. And then if it goes too away, I just, like, go very close to them and suggest, like, no, that was a little off for me. Can you just do it this way? That's all. And otherwise, there's mutual trust.
And
I don't give script, and they
you don't give a script?
How can I give when I don't write?
You mean they just have to show up on set?
Yeah.
And they don't know what they're shooting that day?
No. No, they'll know what.
Vaguely.
No, they'll know the scene, and what that scene is going to change into, we don't know. But the major sequences, I'll tell them. Okay.
Mota, what we say in Hindi, like,
yeah.
broad.
No, like the bigger ones with detail, I'll tell them. Say, for instance, in Vada Chennai, the intermission sequence, like, that is detailed. And but all the other things, today you're just going to meet your girlfriend, you and your girlfriend are talking, that's all. And you're going with your girlfriend's brother to stab this guy, then that's a detailed thing. There is details to it. So like that.
That's the detail.
No, that will be detailed.
That
narration will be, that will be detailed.
And there will be lines that they will get.
Yeah, lines, most of the times they'll get there.
On set.
Yeah. But by the way, like, I think most directors work like this. Like, now I'm feeling.
Are my expressions just sort of making you feel awkward?
Yeah.
But tell me, Betty, obviously there's no bound script. How long is your script?
See, for every film, I think I write around like 400 to 600 pages.
But itna kya hai when there's no dialogue?
In the sense, by the time the film is over, there's that much of script. Like, I think there's one Bollywood calling the film, where the protagonist keeps asking, where is the script? Where is the script? Where is the script? When the film is over, the producer gives him the script. Now I know what my film is, you take the script. It's like that. By the time I finish the film, I would have written that much.
And at the beginning?
Beginning, I have like some 100 pages, 150 pages. But that keeps changing. Like, everybody knows not to trust my first draft. So.
And no actor has ever been bothered by this.
Some people do get bothered.
And then?
Sometimes they don't work with me.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes they work, that's all.
But you trust this process so implicitly, Vetri, that you know that at that moment, in that time, in that frame, some magic will happen.
No, there's no magic to it. There's no magic. See, I think that's math. Like, you come here, there are only like, 10 or 6 places where you can take a master shot from. That's math. Then for me. And then, okay, if there are some 150 people, okay, you can have 150 close-ups. And then one suggestion from everybody to the both of us talking, my suggestion, your suggestion, that's all. Like, this is math. And in between, if I don't get my lines, I'll say, like, okay, if it's going to be my line, I'll put it on my over shoulder and I'll just, okay, say something and let me take like Anupama's reaction. And I know what that mood is going to be. Then I'll tell Anupama, okay, like, you need to be happy, keep smiling to what he's saying. Or you're going to be upset. So look at him angrily. Then that's it. Then I go do it in the dub. That's all.
And that's how your amazing films get made.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, really, a round of applause.
No, no. Sometimes I start feeling worrying that I'm like a lot of people say that you're spoiling one whole generation of people. You don't know, like a lot of people like your work, and they're going to think, okay, it's so easy. You don't need to work. You can just go and you'll end up making a good film or a decent film. I shouldn't call good, but a decent film. So I feel that see, being on the toes and always, I have a great memory. Um, when I used to work with Balamahindra sir, sometimes my team forget the script and go to the spot, and it has happened a couple of times. Then, from my memory, what we have to shoot that day, I will just write it out from my memory and give it to Balamahindra sir. He has extensive memory. He'll say, "You've forgotten one no in this." He'll say, I give him the whole thing, and no, no, I asked you to add a no in the last line. There is no in there. He'll say, he's like that. So I have this memory, and every time I narrate the script to someone, like, if when we're discussing and I tell the script to someone, then it's there in my mind. And when I'm going to shoot, that comes. It's not something that I'm not pulling anything out of thin air, but it's something that's processed and put inside, and it is there in me, and it will come. So this whatever that we're going to shoot now, I wrote in 2003, and I still remember everything from then. So it's like that. My memory works like that.
So basically, for any aspiring directors here, don't try this at home.
Yeah,
It
I
only
always
works
see,
for Vetri.
no. I don't know for how long. So it's like I always say, this is not the way to make films.
Right.
We need to write. We need to write to make films. I am in a place and privilege where I'm allowed to do this. I don't know if I'll be allowed to do it in my next film. They might come and say, no, you have to write it. Give me the script so that you can shoot. Then I will sit down quietly and write. So I'm not going to do that. Of course, I'll write, give it to them, and then go change it. But still, I'll sit and write. And I've told everybody that I am going to write and complete my script this time and go to shoot.
For the Simbu one?
Yes.
Nice. And is it there anywhere close to it?
No. I've written some. I write very extensively. So I started writing thinking that I'll write for some 30 minutes or so. Now I think I have some 1 hour and 15 minutes of stuff, and not even the first episode is over. We have some 5 episodes, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
It's another two-parter.
Yes, that's why I keep telling people that, like, in a very funny way, that if I write long. So just let me shoot. We'll have a small film.
Okay, one last question, Vetri. Do you think cinema can change the world?
No, see, cinema as a medium is a very powerful medium. Mainstream cinema is a very powerful medium to interact and to part certain knowledge with the public. But if you ask me if you can bring in a social reform or change through films, it's not possible. But you can empower people to stand behind the right kind of people to bring in the change. That is possible. So, and okay, I'll have to refrain myself very much. Okay, every government in the world knows this, the power of cinema. So that is why they are so worried about the content that their film industry produces.
Yeah.
So either they manipulate it or they curtail it. Either one of it is being done by every governing body in the world.
Yeah. Okay, guys, on that note, let's open it up. Who has questions? The lady right here.
Ukaranga. Sit.
Thank you. Hi, Vetrina. I'm Bona. So, Before the question, I told my brother that I'm coming here. He said, "Ask Vetrina, how is he?" And I'm conveying that. My question is in Viduthalai 2, the last scene, where Surina just brings the jeep to the edge and leaves it there itself. So I really like that scene. How I perceived it, that on that particular scene, he's becoming a person who stands for people. He doesn't harms them or causes any violence because that is not the first intention of them, but he doesn't leaves them or lets them go away because he seeks justice. I think it somewhat encapsulates the whole film in a subtle way. So how did you arrive in the beginning? Did you know that this is how it is going to end, or how did you come to this closure?
No, initially I didn't have it, but while I was while in the process of making the film, we thought that something like this would be an appropriate end to it. The interpretations, I don't want to get involved into the interpretations of that climax because I have something in mind. I don't want people who look at it and read into it in many ways to be what to say, sometimes disappointed, sometimes guided into assuming certain things. But what you say is right. What you say is right, and I also like that end. I really like the way it portrayed the characters, all the characters in that scene.
Thank you. Now,
Hello, sir. This is Sangam. I'm a big fan. Sir, I have a question. How do you name your characters?
Okay, I'm really bad at doing it. I used to have so much trouble arriving at titles. Even now, I do that. Arriving at titles and character names, and I push it till the last. And sometimes it immediately comes. Like Kumaresan was a character's name that came immediately. I didn't have to think much. Like while writing itself, that's what came. Uh, but all the other characters, some something happens to be called uh, that way, and sometimes we take from real life character people also, so that also helps.
Hello, hi. Hi, Anupama ma'am. Hi, hello, Vetri sir. My name is Surji Sikhadas. So I have a question and it has two parts. The first part is like, uh, so like, whenever I see your films, I watch your films, it always make me feel as if, there's this camera and, the camera is just observing life and it's not, it's not directing you're just observing life. So, because it's so raw. So my question is, how do you decide in a film, what needs to be unseen and what needs to be unsaid? That's the first part. And the second part of my question is like your actors, I'm not talking about the stars, all your actors are amazing. Like they're so good, they're so natural. So do you really like kind of like create an environment for that for them, or you just make them underperform, or like just happens naturally in your set like?
Yeah, the first thing is, um, I tell my camera assistants who are very particular about focus and the background staging, the staging of the background actors, all of that. Like while shooting in actual location, if someone is looking at the camera, I don't mind. I let them look at the camera. That somehow makes the audience, even if the audience notices it, they somehow feel that something real is happening. So you put a camera and they're looking at it. So I think that helps. And I prefer to have a lot of out of focus shots in my film. So that also gives us a feeling of seeing something not professionally performed and made it look like uh, clean. And most importantly, I feel the staging of the background actors is very important. There are certain filmmakers who are very good at it. Roland Joffé is there, like the City of Joy, or there is a lot of films that make you believe that they've actually shot it amongst real people, but they also make actors perform in that way. So I feel the background action, the the actors who just walk in the frame behind and in the foreground, they actually make a lot of difference in making your film look uh, close to real, I feel. And actors being natural, I think they come with that kind of mindset. I think like they don't want to act when they're around an environment like that. If they're going overboard, I'll just tell them, okay, let's not do it. Let's do it a different way. That's it. Sometimes when there's a problem with some actors, if you tell them what they're going to be in the end, they start planning for it from the beginning. So it's better not to tell the actors what to expect out of their characters, and we just let them go and do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Vetri sir. Yeah, my name is Akshay. So I just wanted to understand like what was the like how you crafted the Kumaresan character and how you exactly decided it will be the Soori. So I feel this Kumaresan character is the one of the finest character like you have written in the you have or someone else will written in the entire film cinematic universe.
Okay.
So how you crafted this or what was the exactly backstory?
Okay, so it happened reverse. I thought I'll do a film with Soori, and then we arrived at this film, and then while working slowly, see, um, I take a lot from my actor's personality also. As a person whom they are and how they interact with the world, how they look at themselves as people, all of these things. When you interact with someone for a while, you get to know that. And then when you are seeing those people and when you know who they are, what their self image is, then you slowly start working around that, and then you, after a point, they are into that character, and I mean the character that you have written, and then there is a blend of it. So the character of Kumaresan has a lot to do with Suri as a person, and what a common man is in that world. Through Kumaresan we get whole world, and which is why Kumaresan feels special to a lot of people, because he is one of us, but he's put in a situation where we have never been, and we empathize with him for that. And he also takes a stand some of us might not take. I think that's why he's special.
Vijay, could you work with an actor who's brilliant but whose politics you don't agree with?
No.
Really?
Yeah. No, what will happen is I might want that person to say something and he might not want to do it. See, one thing that I don't want to have is conflict. I don't want to have conflict while working.
Right.
Yeah, I'm normally a conflict averse person. You want to have conflict or leaving. I would prefer leaving. Yeah, that kind. I'm that person. So I don't want to get into unnecessary conflicts.
Right. So more or less, everyone's on the same page,
Yeah.
ideologically speaking.
No, see, if you don't have an ideological preference, or if you are able to put your ideology aside when you're working on a film,
Then it's fine.
then it's not a problem.
Right.
Then I don't mind, because when I'm telling a story, like when I'm writing a film, when I'm directing a film, it has to be my story and my film, because I'm here to tell a story. If I go to act in another person's film, if I'm an actor, then maybe I will leave out my ideology and try to fit into that person's world. So if someone cannot do it, then that's a problem.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Any more questions? Wow, we have a lot. Okay, Vetri, you choose now.
I don't know what time is. Yeah.
So you mentioned your writing process, and it was quite fascinating to hear that not having an exact bound script when you go to shoot. So I was just curious, because the films we work on, the script kind of acts as a blueprint for all the departments to kind of, do their tasks, be it art or the LP, EP, everybody. so costume. So if you don't have a bound script, how do the other departments kind of, like you can get the actors in sync, you give them a brief description and let them act, but how do the other departments prepare for this process?
Okay, and now I'm going to give away the trick. You have a great team, and that will be taken care of. My team is a great team. So what I just call them and okay, what are we going to shoot? Okay, I want to shoot this sequence, this whole episode in the next 10 days. So my team will ensure that all the actors who are supposedly to be part of that sequence are there, and all the costumes, the props, whatever that is required for those 10 days, everything would be ready. And also they will ensure that if some of these guys don't perform well, the actors, they'll also make sure that there are standby actors who can come and fill in for these people. So my boys say that in Tamil they say, இங்க வேலை செஞ்சா உலகத்துல எங்க வேணா போய் வேலை செஞ்சிடலாம். Like it means like if they can work with me, they can do any job in any part of the world. They'll say. It's like that.
So basically, they set the ground for anything that might come to your head.
Yes. Yeah. And my art department, my cinematographer, Velraj is the most fluid cinematographer as far as I know, because I will just tell him to light the whole thing from here, to put the camera here and set it up, and then I'll come and after finishing the light, I'll come and say, well, Raj, can we do the master from this? Okay, sir, no problem. Like, give me 30 minutes time. That's all. He'll change. No complaints, nothing whatsoever, and he doesn't think twice. My art director thinks ahead of me. Like, if I am going to say, Lala, I mean, you don't need to have the set extension here. He'll say, no, Vetri, you will ask for it when you come and see the set. I'll say, no, don't do it. He'll say, okay, I will do it. I'll come there, and the first thing I'll just look and say, okay, this is nice. Let's put the camera there. So it's like that. My team enables me to do that.
Hi, just thank you, Anupama, for a brilliant magazine. I think this is terrific. And
Thank you.
yeah, and Vetri sir, the question I have very selfishly, I produce films in regional languages, but none of the films exceed 5 crore in budget, right? Now I've seen your Visaranai, terrific film, and I've seen Asuran, terrific. Will you ever go back and make a 1 crore film like Visaranai? And can I hope?
Visaranai, when that happened,
Right.
We made the film in 2 crores and 75 lakhs, I
Right.
think. And I didn't take any pay for that. Dinesh, the lead actor, he didn't take pay for that. GV Prakash did not take any pay for that. Kishore, actor, did not take pay for that. Kishore, editor, did not take pay for that. Samudrakani just took 5 lakhs because he didn't know that none of us are going to take pay. He took the check, and then he was very, very offended that he was cheated by letting him take the pay. So none of us took the pay, and we wanted to tell a story like that kind of a story, and I was very passionate about making that film happen. And that film in Tamil Nadu alone collected 3 crores and 84 lakhs. So that was a theatrically successful film. If we had taken salaries, then that might have not been possible at that point. And today, to do a film like that, in that same equation, it's going to take at least 8 crores.
Yeah, so would you do a film like that? Would you do an 8 crore film with all the costs?
Yeah. I will do it. Every time I start wanting to do that only.
That's the beginning. Opening frame is that.
Yeah, I really wanted to do something like that with Viduthalai. I really wanted to do something like that with Viduthalai. But I will be doing it.
Did you?
Sometimes when your need for money goes higher, no, then the stakes are also high.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But Vetri, when Visaranai ran, did you get any money?
No, I didn't take. I didn't.
You
take.
just didn't want
No,
anything.
we didn't want it. We didn't because see, I told Dhanush, I started shooting a film with Dhanush and Parthiban sir for 6 days, and then I that was like 4 years after Adgalam. Then I started feeling that I was repeating myself. And I met Dhanush and said, Dhanush, I don't want to do this film because I feel I'm repeating. I want to do a different kind of film. And he was shooting for a Hindi film, I think the second Hindi film. So before you could go finish that film and come, I will finish this film. He said, okay, sir. Yeah, I said, I'll need some 2.5 crores, 2 crores, 2 crores or 2 crores and 25 lakhs to make this film. He said, okay, sir. Then 4 days later, I went and met him and said, Dhanush, I got an idea to make. The idea is, he said, sir, please don't tell the idea. If you tell me the idea, if I like it, I'll want to do it, and I might not be able to do it because I have commitments. So you tell me how much it's going to cost. I told him like 2 crores, 2.5 crores, whatever. He said, okay, I'll give the money, sir, you go make the film. And he watched the film only after the premiere in Venice. He didn't watch it till then. So when I have that kind of a producer, and that kind of put me in a larger space. And also, he spent around 3.5 crores for the Oscar campaign, which is a big learning experience for me more than anything else. So why would I want salary for a film like that and for the exposure like that? So it's you don't get that kind of producers.
Yeah.
So
They're rare.
not all the time you get that kind of producers. So, but I've always had that kind of producers. So
Only you get them all the time.
Vanakkam, sir.
Vanakkam.
My name is Gokul. So back then, movies is for stars. But I think in today's era, directors, I think, mean pillars to watch a movie. So, அதை பற்றி என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க?
No, even today it's the actors only. Combination matters. See, not just one superstar. Rajani sir cannot pull off what he has done with Coolie in terms of numbers without Lokesh's name to it. So it's like that. The combination, now it's more about combination, but still, people come into theatres only for the actors. Maybe after that, we were talking about it. After that, the director, the content, everything comes into play.
No, because
See, the bigger films. If you want to make big money, it's big actors. But there are films like breakaway films in Tamil, like Tourist Family, or a lot of films that really work. And some films in Malayalam also are coming like that, when small films suddenly doing very good. And then that's really on the film and the director.
என் ஃப்ரெண்ட் இது கேட்க சொன்னாங்க சார், நீங்கள் ஆன்சர் சொல்லிட்டீங்க. பட் ஸ்டில் இது எல்லாரும் கேட்டிருக்காங்க, வட சென்னை 2 எப்போ? That's what I want to ask. Was that
Chennai 2?
when is Vada Chennai 2?
Okay, I saw a meme some time back. That meme said, my sad photograph says, I'm Vetrimaaran, victim of Vada Chennai 2 எப்போ? So that's the answer for that.
Vanakkam Vetri sir, என் பேரு குணசுந்தரி. So I think I can ask this question only to you because I know how open-minded of a director you are.
Okay, now that's dangerous.
So why do we see very less number of Tamil women in Tamil cinema? I've been wondering this since a very young age. I'm someone who's born and brought up in Delhi, but I've been exposed to Tamil cinema since a very young age. Obviously, I saw Aishwarya Rajesh in Vada Chennai. I could relate. I could see a Tamil girl in her. But do you think that we are still victims of colorism in Tamil Nadu?
All over the world, yes. All over the world, yes. But it's changing slowly. But I feel there's a lot of change with I see a lot of change with the young directors coming in and making films. And Varsha was very particular with the skin blemish, the pimples and all of that. And
For Bad Girl.
Yeah, bad girl.
Yeah.
So it's like with youngsters, there's a change, and we are also following that. If not right away, there is the shift. It will take some time for the shift to be felt and seen, and it will happen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Vanaka sir, I'm Gautam. So, my question to you was every filmmaker has their own upbringing and stuff, and it some way or the other influences the story. So, you have said just now that you have had multiple ideas over time. So, has any idea come to your mind which contradicts what you stand for?
Yeah, then we don't pursue that idea, no.
Okay.
If we get those
But
ideas.
was it interesting enough that it could have been made by any other filmmaker?
Yeah. There's a lot of ideas like that.
Okay.
A lot of ideas like that, which I don't pursue. I try to sell my script to all my like friends, and I'll call them and say, okay, this is this idea, very interesting idea. I wanted to give one script to Gautam and a couple of scripts to Gautam and a lot of other people also. I try to do that. And
Vetri, thank you so much. This was so much fun. And thank you to all of you for coming out.
thank you.
And big applause.
Thank you for inviting me. Actually, pulling me out of Chennai. I was actually stuck with a lot of things, so this is a refreshing day for me to come out
And good luck with Bad Girl.
thank you. We just want to put it out and tell the whole world that it's UA 16 plus.
September 5th, guys, Bad Girl.
Yeah.
Thank you and thank you.
Thank you.